You mentioned that your baby's a little bit older and getting teeth, and your baby isn't biting, but nursing has become uncomfortable. And this is actually a common problem. When babies start to get teeth, they often begin to latch a little bit differently because it feels different to them to nurse with teeth. And the teeth can be really sharp at the beginning until they kind of get dulled a little bit just with time and eating. And so sometimes that sharpness is extra painful and sensitive on a mother's nipples. So there are a couple of things that you can do in order to alleviate the discomfort. The first is just changing position. As long as you're pretty sure your baby's been latching appropriately, and if you've been nursing for a while and it's been going well, they probably are, but do examine it again. Like I said, babies may latch a little bit differently because it feels different to them after they've gotten teeth. And make sure that they're not pulling down, that the weight of their body and the suck isn't pulling down on the nipple, because that will add to discomfort and can just put extra pressure on the nipple as their teeth kind of grind on the nipple during the feeding. So make sure that you lift your baby up and support them with pillows and change positions if necessary. So let's say that you're using the cross cradle hold and your baby is latched onto the left side. Move them in farther to the right, and this will naturally push their chin up. If their chin is on their chest, then they're going to drag down on the nipple when they're sucking. And if their chin is up, or if they're looking at you, it will help to alleviate any pressure that they're putting on your breasts and hopefully make nursing a little less uncomfortable. And if your child is old enough, tell them to look at you, and without distracting them too much while eating, you can smile at them, try to make eye contact, and that will keep their head up. If they're old enough, you can even say, put your head up and open your mouth wide when you examine their latch, and tell them that when they do it the other way, it hurts, mommy, and that'll usually help them want to correct it so that it works well for both of you. You can also try applying lanolin to your nipples before and after a feeding to see if that makes a difference. And it is true that teething babies produce more saliva, which can actually be irritating to the areola. So try rinsing your breasts off with cool water after feeding to see if that makes a difference. And if your baby's eating solid foods, then the particles in their mouth and extra food can also irritate your tissue. And so you can give your baby a sip of water after eating solids before latching them on if they're old enough, like over 6 months of age. And again, rinse your breasts off after you're done feeding them. Another thing to think about is the return of your period. If you've been exclusively breastfeeding and your baby hasn't had solids yet, then you may not have a period. But as your baby gets older, especially as they get to the age where they could be getting teeth, then they're probably eating solids, maybe being supplemented every now and then with formula, and your period may return. And that can cause nipple soreness. And so if it just goes on for a few days, it may be something hormonal that's causing it. But again, go back to the basics of latch, make sure your baby's latching appropriately, and make sure that's not the problem. If these suggestions aren't helping, then talk with a lactation specialist who can watch your baby nurse and give you tailored information and advice about corrections to make in order to make breastfeeding successful for you if you desire to continue. If you have more questions in the future for me, feel free to ask them on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Intermountain Moms, and recommend us to your friends and family too.